Hey, hey, it's me, Vicky, Marie, and it's nice to see you all here chatting. Thanks for that. Thanks for being here with me. And it's a Monday evening. Monday's always a long day. So I've got some Vino Tinto. I've got a bit. I'm not in the Golden Goblet tonight. I'm just in a normal glass, but I've got a little bit of Vino Tinto. As I say, Monday's always a long day, but. And you know, today's been a funny day. Nothing terrible's happened, but except the kettle is broken. And I think any of you will know, you think you take your kettle so much for granted, but you actually really miss having a kettle. It's just a simple thing, isn't it? And although you can cope without a kettle, of course you can cope without a kettle, it's just irritating. So what happened with our kettle, I'll just tell you. Oh, let me tell you what I'm going to talk about tonight. So tonight I'm going to talk about Anna Knezevic. We've been following her case. It's getting sort of curiouser and curiouser in a way, but it does feel like there's some progress being made. You know, it is a top priority in Spain now, this case, and I mean, really, and it's been passed to the gender violence courts, you know, so that means they are taking it very seriously. They are treating it as a suspicious disappearance, not a voluntary disappearance. And the other day we looked at a video where Anna's brother was saying on an American, because this sort of story goes round quite a few countries, doesn't it? Because Anna herself is Colombian, her family are Colombian, they live in America, in Florida. Her husband, her estranged husband, is Serbian. He supposedly lives in Serbia, but then Anna went to live in Madrid, in Spain. She fell in love with Madrid when she visited there, and she was trying to sort of start off a new life there, and then mystically she disappeared. So I'm going to tell you some developments that I now know about that, because the other day we watched a video, didn't we, where her brother was denying the fact that biological remains had been found in her flat, because I found the actual newspaper that actually said this, and I found the Spanish version of the article, if you like, and I think it makes a bit more sense to me now, because biological remains, you think, oh my God, that sounds like an arm or something, don't you? Have they found a body? Have they, but that's not, I think, how it translates. And I was looking for the original article, and I have found it. So, and also some other things that have come up there that are interesting that haven't come out on the other news, like the American news, etc. So that's what I'm going to talk about tonight, the things that I found out from the Spanish news, really. But going back, now it seems so pathetic, my kettle breaking. But it just started off, it wouldn't boil at all. So we started sort of slamming it down on the thing to get it to work. And that's worked too much now, so now it won't turn off. So there you go. So if we have to remember to take it off. Because if you don't, it's just, well, what will happen? I suppose it'll explode in the end. So new kettle needed, but never mind. It's just such a, all these things. The good thing about following true crime, because sometimes it is depressing, isn't it? But I think the good thing about following true crime is you do count your blessings. Just the fact that your kettle's broken, it seems like it's a pain, but on the grand scale of things, it's not really a big thing, is it? So that's the good thing about following true crime. You realise you've got to take every day. You can't take anything for granted. You've got to enjoy every day. You've got to make the most of every moment that you've got, because you really do not know why, when, if for whatever reason, things are taken away from you. So that's the good thing. We've found some positivity now in true crime. So first of all, I want to say thank you. I'm going to put my ticker on for a bit. just because it reminds me of what I have to thank you for. So yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. If you're not subscribed, please think about subscribing, because it's absolutely free. Obviously, leaving your fingerprint on the like button, that's a big help. And then those of you out there that have joined my channel, that is a massive help. You know, though, a special thank you to my members, or anyone who has bought me a Ko-fi, sent me a super, any of the ways that any of you have supported my channel, even just sending me an email, leaving a nice comment, etc. There you go, here the dogs go now, because as soon as I go live, all hell breaks loose in my house. At least there won't be any olive oil bottles being broken tonight, because I haven't got any olive oil bottles in the house. So anyway, thank you so much. Oh my God. Hey! Sorry. So they're on the roof, just, you know, barking into the wilderness. So they're coming down now. They're coming down. Were you naughty? What was all that about? What was all that about? Okay, so what we're going to do now is say hello to everybody. There's loads of you here and you're all chatting. It's lovely. Thank you so much. Oh, gosh, I've got a long way to go up to the top here. Oh, hi, Pepe, or hola, Pepe. I don't know if you're Spanish or not. I am streaming this to my Learn Spanish in English channel. So, good evening, buenas tardes, Pepe. Gracias por estar ahí. So, thank you so much. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Chumba. Ah, hi, David. Oh, it's so nice to see you back. You've been missed. Hope everything's okay. We've all missed David. Hi, Amethyst. Hi, Ocean. Sorry, I'm just, gosh, it makes me a bit dizzy when I scroll down. It's like, oh. Hi, Heather. Hi, Jackie. Hi, Mara. Oh, everyone's missed you, see, David. Hi, Caroline. Hi, Amanda Jane. Hi, Claire. Hi, Quizzical. Oh, it's so nice to see everybody here. Oh, thank you, Heather. You like this necklace? I know I need some more necklaces. I'm running out of necklaces. Oh, dear. Hi, Tracy. Oh. Ah, Pepe. So Pepe actually worked for David and Anna. Right, okay. So Pepe says he worked for David and Anna. So, well, I mean, you know, obviously we don't know them. I don't know Anna. I have spoken on by message with her friend, and she just seems, and obviously what we know of her and what we've seen of her, she does just seem like such a nice person. And what were, you know, do you know them? I mean, you know, do you think they'd fallen out, or anyway, I don't know, maybe you don't want to comment on it, which is fair enough, but I don't think Anna had any children, did she? There's no children involved, which is good. It's looking very strange, this case. There's a lot of you know, obviously when a woman goes missing, or a man, to be honest, the partner is always the first one to be suspected. Now, of course, Anna and David, they're not together anymore, are they? But he's still going to be the first one to be suspected, because they're going through a divorce. There's some controversy about whether the divorce is acrimonious or not. You know, David's lawyer said it's not acrimonious. Then Anna's friends released text to say, yes, it is acrimonious. I think there's quite a lot of money involved, and whenever money is, there's always problems, isn't there? But of course, it could be absolutely nothing to do with David. You know, it could be a completely unrelated. It's definitely suspicious because of the the strange text messages, etc. So it's definitely suspicious. But whether it's anything to do with David or not, not necessarily, is it? So anyway, we're going to look at some things. Hi, Mello. It was very funny, the St. Patrick's Day stream was funny. Hi, Nanny L. Hi, Lady Dog Lover. Hi, Katrina. Yeah, I'm not talking about Claire. You're a very naughty girl. You're a very naughty girl. I did. It was funny. It was funny, but I couldn't possibly put it on here. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Susan. Oh, gosh, I'm struggling getting down to the bottom here. Well, that's very interesting, Pepe. So, yeah, it's interesting to know something about him, you know, like from somebody who knew him rather than just, you know, we don't know what he's like. But that's interesting. Hi, Karen. No, Chumba. Anyway, tonight we're talking, maybe eventually, maybe in the members. I'll show it in the members sometime, but not tonight. And tonight we're here to talk about Anna anyway. So, Anna, she just seems such a lovely person. I mean, Pepe will know, maybe he'll be able to tell us. Is she as nice as she seems to be? You know, she just comes over as a nice person. Obviously, we don't know her. Hi, Simon. But what I'm going to present first is the Daily Mail has jumped on this bandwagon of the cops finding biological remains. So let's have a look at Anna. There's Anna. I just can't get over how young she looks because, you know, I noticed in some of the Spanish articles that I found about her, they're calling her the young girl. Well, you know, and she's not old, don't get me wrong, but she's 40 years old. And she just looks so much younger than that. So I don't know, something's agreeing with her. She's probably happy because she's got away from David and it's probably took years off her. Anyway, so, you know, we watched this interview, the last video I did. We watched this interview with Cuomo and Anna's brother. Let's just have a look at this excerpt that they've taken out of it.
Florida resident Anna Knezevic has been gone for 40 days. She disappeared in Spain. She's going through a divorce. She wanted to change her life. She was supposed to go away with friends. Everybody thought everything was okay, and all of a sudden, poof. And all of a sudden, they get some weird messages that don't seem like they were written by her or someone who speaks Spanish, which she certainly does. We've been staying on this case. Now, there was a report that says something very startling, that authorities found biological remains in Anna's apartment. Obviously, it can't be her body. Otherwise,
I just think there's, you know, when they talk about things getting lost in translation, biological remains, it just sounds so dramatic. And later, I'm going to read you the article from the Spanish newspaper, and I don't think when they say biological remains, they mean traces. The way that it's, anyway, I'll look at that later. But it did sound dramatic, didn't it? Biological remains. It's like, oh my God, what have they found? You know, a body, a leg, an arm, what?
otherwise, the mystery would be over. So, what does it mean? And is the family satisfied that there is effort being made, that there's hope? Anna's brother, Felipe Henao, joins us now. Felipe, sorry about my voice, but very good to be with you. How is the family doing on this new report of biological remains, and what does that mean to you?
So Cuomo seems to have laryngitis or something, because he did say sorry about my voice.
Thank you for having me, Grace. It's been the toughest time that we've had in our lives. We just want to know the truth. That's ultimately what we want. We want to know the truth. We want to know where my sister is, and I just want to tell anybody, if anybody has any information, any tips, even if they think it's stupid, to please reach out to the FBI in Miramar or the Spanish authorities. Now about this report, I asked the FBI authorities if it's true, and they told me it isn't. But they don't want to share any information because it could jeopardize the case. And I totally understand. Justice moves slow, and obviously they understand obviously our desperation. But yeah, it's been very hard.
Well, look, it makes sense that biological remains doesn't make sense. And here's why. Because the last thing we know is that there was reports of her being seen alone outside the apartment at like 10:30 at night. So if something really bad had happened and she was abducted from the apartment, then why was she seen alone late at night? It doesn't make sense. But I do want people to know this and being careful, because all that matters to me is that you get the satisfaction and answers about your sister, and God willing, that it's good news. The authorities are in contact with you now. You're not still lost and trying to get information and no one will talk to you. There has been progress, yes?
No. As a matter of fact, we hired a lawyer in Spain, and because we want to know more information about the case, and then he went to the jury, to the court where the case is, and now the case is in the gender violence court. So they're not treating the case as a volunteer disappearance. Now they're taking it as a forced disappearance. And I know they're working on it every day.
Good.
I know. And
yeah. Felipe, last thing. Do you believe that the authorities are treating this as a case where she may still be alive and they have to find her?
I don't know.
You know, I thought that was a bit of a tactless question, but he doesn't know what to say, the brother, because, you know, he's trying to be honest. But, you know, at the end of the day, when she's been missing for this length of time with absolutely no clue, no trace of her, it feels unlikely that she's going to be found alive. But of course, it's not totally beyond the realms of possibility that she could have been kidnapped and be being held somewhere. And that really is their best case scenario, isn't it? And just looking at what some people were saying, I think it is DNA maybe that they found. DNA, when they say biological remains, to me it's traces that they found, if they've found anything. But anyway, we'll see.
You gotta hit reality, and it's been 40 days. I asked them, and chances are low, you know. It's just, you never lose hope, and I'm not gonna stop fighting.
He sounds very depressed about it all, doesn't he? He sounds like he's almost accepted he's not going to see his sister again. Which reminds me, I'm going to light the candle because I blew it out before because I went to the supermarket.
My sister, I will fight until we find her. That's all.
And we're here to help. We're here to help, Felipe. We're always a call away. We will stay on the story. Any development, even if it's something that, you know, you don't believe, you don't accept, whatever it is, we're here until the end. I promise you.
No, if it wasn't for you guys, none of this would have happened. I think the case would have been swept under the rug. If it wasn't for you, I really think this wouldn't have happened.
In a way, maybe he's right. All the added publicity has definitely helped to bring this, because a lot of people go missing in Madrid. Madrid's a big city like London. A lot of people go missing. I've noticed since I started following on Twitter the Desaparecidos site, you know, the site for missing people. Every day there's several people go missing in Madrid that they're sharing on their website. So this probably, you know, the extra attention has probably helped them contacting the embassy. And then I like to take a little bit of credit, because I did say to Sana, to try the gender violence thing, because it's a hot potato in Spain at the moment, and that's where it's gone now, to the gender violence courts.
So I really appreciate it.
When we get answers and there's closure for you, then we will have done the job. Until then, it's just a work in process. So God bless. Best to the family. I'm a call away. Felipe, take care.
Thank you so much.
Oh. Hi, Ali. Hi, anybody I've missed? Have I missed anybody else coming in? Sorry if I have, but anyway. So let's have a look. So
if it's pink, it's a girl, and if it's blue, it's a boy.
So this is the Daily Mail article. Now, I was telling you about the Olive Press article. The Olive Press is an expat newspaper in Spain, which I don't hold much respect for, to be honest. And they charge you for reading their articles anyway. But the Daily Mail now has reported this same thing. The brother of Anna Knezevic has denied local reports that biological remains were found in her Madrid apartment. And I just think it's just too dramatic, that biological remains. But he conceded that chances are low she's still alive. So they're talking about remains as if it's body parts or something. Anyway, a March the 12th report from the Spanish publication El Sierra Digital cited sources close to the case who claimed that the scientific police, the forensics, found biological remains in the missing woman's living accommodation. This is definitely something getting lost in the translation. So I've found the article in El Sierra Digital, and I'm going to read it to you. I'm going to translate it for you, because I just think it's been translated badly. So Anna Knezevic, again, they're calling her by her surname. One day they'll stop doing that. 40, had been living in Spain on and off since last summer, when her marriage to Serbian-American businessman David, 35, fell apart. And the Florida woman was declared a missing person on February the 5th. So it's, it's well over a month ago now. After she failed to meet a friend to travel from Madrid to Barcelona for a conference. So her brother, Felipe, recently appeared on Cuomo with a desperate plea to the public. He said that the FBI had denied the report about the remains. So there's definitely 100%. The FBI will have turned around to her and say no remains were found in the apartment. Her remains were not found. They're totally blowing this out of all proportion just because of a mistake in the translation. It'll be some DNA, definitely, I think. Some trace DNA. That's what I think they found. So we want to know the truth. We want to know where my sister is. If anyone has any information, any tips, reach out to the FBI. We've just listened to that, haven't we? Okay. So he said that he'd asked the FBI, and the FBI said it wasn't true. Just what we've listened to there. So, and I agree. I don't think there's any way they'll have found biological remains in her apartment. They'll have found trace DNA. It may be her DNA. It might be somebody else's DNA. If anybody, I mean, there were no signs of forced entry. For those of you, though, who don't know, what's made it extra suspicious, let me just go to the article. This is the article in El Sierra Digital that I'm going to read out to you. What made this, of course, extra suspicious is half an hour before Anna was last seen or heard from, somebody blacked out the CCTV cameras in the apartment, and also the doorbell video. Now, this apartment is in the Salamanca area of Madrid, which is a very salubrious, let's say, area of Madrid. It costs a lot to live there. It would cost a lot to stay there. I'm presuming that Anna was in some kind of Airbnb because she was looking for a more long-term let. Now, also, now the police have said, or people have said in this article, it says, it's not necessarily tied in with the disappearance of Anna that these things were blacked out, because there's often robberies in this area because it's such a rich area. It tends to attract a lot of robberies, so it may well be that it was completely unrelated. But personally, to me, it just seems a bit too much of a coincidence. On the night that Anna went missing, they think, this happened. You know, that somebody went and blacked out the cameras. Is it possible that that's a coincidence like that? Or is it more likely that it was tied in with her disappearance? And of course, the other strange thing that happened was then she sent these texts to her friends, one in English, one in Spanish, and both of them looked like they'd gone through Google Translate. They didn't seem like natural texts. She said she'd met someone fantastic on the street. They'd made an instant connection, and she'd gone off to stay with him for 2 weeks, or she'd gone off to stay with him for a while in a holiday home or a holiday house just on the outskirts of Madrid, and the internet signal was patchy. So that was the other thing that seems, that somebody had control of Anna's phone, and also went through Google Translate to send these messages, because neither of these messages, neither the English one or the Spanish one, seemed to be written in what you would call normal English or normal Spanish. Okay, so hi Arkan, and anyone else I haven't said hello to. So this is the article that they're referring to. I may try and contact them actually. They might talk to me. You never know. They may talk to me. El Sierra Digital is the name of the publication. The director is Juan Luis Galiacho. Okay, so what it's saying here is, according to the president of SOS Desaparecidos, which is SOS Missing People, Joaquin Amils, the case has been transferred to the courts, the Violence Against the Woman Court, number 9 in Madrid. So that's where it's been transferred to, and I've been looking that up today because I might contact them as well. The thing is, if you don't ask, you don't get. This is where it's been transferred to. Violencia sobre la Mujer número 9. That's the court, the name of the court, and there is a phone number. Well, there was a phone number. I found a phone number. I can't see it on there, but there is a phone number. And there is, there it is. There's a phone number. There's also an email here. So I may contact them as well, because if I can, they'll give it. If there's any information they can give, they'll give it. But obviously, they're not going to give out anything that's anything to do with the case. But they may be able to give some information about, what stage it's at, or if there's anything, I don't know. It's just always, if you don't ask, you don't get. So I'm going to think about that, how to phrase it, how to, because if I can help, because the other thing is, it's not only about speaking Spanish. Anna's brother, Felipe, speaks Spanish. Sometimes it's just knowing how things work in Spain. And they work differently to everywhere else. They just do. And there'll be a lot, they're not going to give out any details of their inquiries, just like of their investigation, just like anywhere else. But I know what it's like. There are things that might surprise, things that you don't think they would possibly say, they'll say, and things you think that, they'll say that, they won't say. They've got their own way of doing things. And that sometimes is not about the language, that's just about the culture. But anyway, they've got this guy on their side whacking Amiels. I'm sure he knows how to deal with the authorities in Spain. But it's good that it's been transferred to the violence against the woman court, because it will be taken much more seriously. It's now being treated as a case of violence against a woman, not as a missing persons case anymore. And that's a big difference. And then the other thing that they're saying here is el FBI pidió que su marido se sometiera a un polígrafo y se negó. So it's saying here that the FBI asked him to do a polygraph and he refused. And as far as I know, he's still in Serbia. He's not moving from Serbia. And I do feel that he won't go to Spain. There's a cat in hell's chance he'll go to Spain unless he's dragged there kicking and screaming, because I think he knows he may be arrested, or he'll certainly be questioned. And now he knows the FBI is involved. He's not going to go back to America either, in my opinion, because he knows that he'll probably get arrested by the FBI. And maybe he feels that in Serbia he's out of reach. Well, I'm sure he isn't out of reach in Serbia, but he's certainly less likely to be questioned, to be interrogated, etc. It is in Serbia. High blank faces. So let's read it in, well, it's in Spanish, but I'll translate it. So the 2nd of February, the Colombian woman, Ana Maria Knezevic, disappeared without leaving a trace. Recently, as we told you in El Sierra Digital, through her lawyer, Juan Manuel Medina, who has, taken on her case, the case has been transferred to the courts of violence against the woman, number 9 in Madrid. And he has revealed, the president of SOS Desaparecidos, which is missing people, there is collaboration between the FBI and the Spanish police. And we believe that this is a forced disappearance. Yeah, una desaparición forzosa. It's an involuntary disappearance, not voluntary disappearance. So it's more than a month since Ana Maria Knezevic disappeared from her flat in Madrid without leaving a trace. After what happened that night, there's few details. We have few details. Nobody has seen Ana Maria or has heard anything new about her. So then it goes on to say this. This is where this comes from, what they're all talking about. So Joaquin Amiels, president of the Association of Missing Persons and the spokesperson for the family, in conversation with elsierradigital.com. So they're saying that this has come from this guy himself. The forensic police, La Policía Científica, found restos biológicos en el piso de Ana Maria. And this is what everyone's sort of fastened on. Restos biológicos, if you put that through the translator, it will be biological remains. But I think if you Google Translate, they don't work. It doesn't work as a proper translation. To me, I would read that and I think it's traces. Biológicos restos, or restos biológicos, are like maybe biological or DNA, traces of DNA. I don't think it means what it sounds like it means when you translate it literally. Anyway, he went on to say this has just reaffirmed the theory that we've believed from the first day, that this is not a voluntary disappearance, it's a forced disappearance. And because of so much time that's passed without any news or any sighting, then everything leads to the hypothesis, clear and firm, that Ana Maria was a victim of a disappearance a criminal disappearance. Okay, and on the other hand, he has said that their lawyer, or her lawyer, or the family's lawyer, or his lawyer, Juan Manuel Medina, who has, you know, what can I say, dealt with many cases similar. Se personó en la causa abierta. So he is taking over this case, and this case has been transferred to el juzgado de instrucción número 51. That's where it started off. See, this is another thing that's important in Spain. This probably won't make sense to people that are watching from the UK, and I'm not saying I'm an expert in legal things in Spain, I'm not, but I have been and interpreted for quite a lot of people in court cases, and they have these different courts, different numbered courts, and they go to, you know, depending on the severity, if you like, or the nature of the crime, depends which court hears it, and, you know, so it's been transferred from Juzgado de Instrucción número 51. So it's been transferred from the Court of Instruction number 51. And it is, you know, this, they've highlighted this. This is a big thing, that it's been transferred to the violence against the woman number 9 in Madrid. So this is a significant development to be transferred, because this is now the way that they are treating this case, as violence against a woman, not as a missing person. Hi, Janie. So then they go on to talk about new things in the case of the disappearation. This is what happens in the end. I end up speaking Spanglish, a bit of English and a bit of Spanish. So novelties, if you like, or new things in the disappearance of Ana Maria. So in conversation with elcierredigital.com, Joaquin Amils asserted that how can I say? Thinking of the English, to put it in English. So it's basically, we're a step forward. That's what he's saying. So the family of Ana Maria now are a step forward. It being transferred from one court to this more important court is a step further. It's a step it's a good step. Because it's not good, obviously, in the way it sounds less likely that Anna's going to be found alive and well, but it's a good step that's been taken more seriously. And he said, and then he's talking again about this big collaboration between the FBI and the Spanish police and the family. They're keeping the family informed. Now, what Felipe said is that they're not telling him anything. They'll be telling him as much as they can tell him, which is probably not much. But I always think that's a good sign in a way, because if the police had nothing to work with, they would be asking for help from the public still. The fact that they're not out there asking for help from the public as much as they were in the beginning, I think means that they've got, some good leads, because if they didn't, they would need help. Now, this is interesting as well, because he goes on to say, to speculate about the husband. So he wanted to point out 3 actions realized by the husband by Anna's husband. So he's done 3 things that he thinks stand out. He thinks are, relevant. He says it's curious that the husband of Anna Maria, the one who wanted to divorce her, has sold a great part of the assets that they had both accumulated. So he's saying that this husband, David, has sold a lot of their assets. So and he's saying he thinks that that is striking. And on the other hand, he said that he has contracted a criminal. Now, we talked about this. We watched his, in one of the videos we watched his lawyer talking, didn't we? He's contracted a criminal lawyer. He did that right at the beginning, right from day one. He employed a criminal lawyer to speak on his behalf. Now, why do you do that when your ex-wife's gone missing and you've got nothing to do with it? Why would you need a criminal lawyer? So he's pointing this out as well. And also the other thing he says here, which is the mention that I said in the title of this video, that he says, this guy says, their spokesperson, the family spokesperson, says that he was asked to submit to a polygraph, or offered to submit to a polygraph, a lie detector test by the FBI, but he has denied it, refused. He's refused to do a lie detector test, basically. Now, again, I suppose you could say maybe he's been advised not to do it just in case he doesn't pass it. You know, he may not pass it. But, you know, he may not pass it through nerves. His lawyer might have said to him, look, don't do the lie detector test because you'll never, you know, if you don't, you may not pass it, not necessarily because he's guilty, but he just may not pass it because of his nerves. Oh, God, I've just realised I'm not sharing this, but it doesn't really matter because you can't read it. It's in Spanish. But I'll put it on. So this is the Spanish article. You know, I always manage to forget to share at least one thing in every video. Wouldn't be the same, would it, if I didn't? Let me just see. That should be sharing now. It will come up in a minute. Yeah. So this is the article that I'm reading from. It's all in Spanish. I'm just reading it out, translating it into English. And there she is, lovely Anna. These are this is the missing posters that are circulating, and they're on every ATM in Madrid, certainly, if not, probably not all over the country, but in Madrid. Her picture is every time people go and take some money out of the ATM, Anna will be looking at them, and not only Anna, probably other missing people as well. So I think missing people where they think there's suspicious circumstances will be on the ATMs. And there she is on a. I mean, you can say, you know, they were a prosperous couple. They've got a business that was doing really well. You know, we were just hearing there from one of the chatters who knows them that they're both probably interested in what, you know, they've done well. You know, you can't criticize people that have gone off to somewhere like America. Neither of them are American originally. They've done well. They've started a business together. They've been successful. And then, of course, the marriage just started going wrong. And that's when problems start. Unfortunately, then money is not necessarily a good thing, is it? So this is where I'd got to here. He was saying that the husband had sold a large part of their assets, and he's refused to do a polygraph test, so a lie detector test. So also, he never went to Spain, even though Anna's friend Sana asked him to go to Spain to help her out. Also, her family asked him for some financial help for them to go to Spain. You know, because you know it won't be cheap, will it? Going from Florida to Spain and spending some time in Madrid, and Madrid's not a cheap place. You know, especially that area where Anna was. It's an expensive place to stay. The Salamanca area is the elite area of Madrid. And all of Madrid is more expensive than the rest of Spain. It's not as expensive as London, but it's still more expensive than the rest of Spain. Hi, 411. So then they go on to talk about the keys to the case, las claves del caso. So the principal motive, el principal motivo, of which Ana Maria was living in Spain, was the problems or the animosity that came up with her husband during the divorce. So his criminal lawyer was at great pains. In the first interview we watched with him on News Nation, he was at pains to say that it wasn't an acrimonious divorce. It was a friendly divorce. There was no problems. His client had nothing to do with this. That's why he failing to sort of explain why then he had actually employed a criminal lawyer in the first place. So he was determined, that no, he's got nothing to do with it. However, the spokesperson for the family is saying that there were problems, and there were economic problems. Because when people have got money and they split up, there's always a fight over it. It's funny, really, isn't it? Because they had a lot of money, so there's probably plenty of money. Anna had said she had enough money to live the rest of her life without having to work. That's what she said. So why? But, it's never enough, is it, sometimes? No matter how much money someone's got, maybe David, he didn't want to give her any more money. He wanted it all for himself, maybe. But, money is the root of all evil, as they say, don't they? So, according to the testimony of various people close to Ana Maria, she wanted an equal sharing out of the money because the business was both of their business. But she was la responsable. She was the one, it was in her name, according to this, or certainly she was the responsible one in the business. And this really annoyed her husband. Eso molestó mucho a su esposo. So this, according to the spokesperson for the family, this is the reason for the animosity between them, because of money. Of course it would be, wouldn't it? So it says that he wanted Anna to have 25% of the money of the assets, etc., and not 50%, which Anna wanted. And Anna, this is what they were arguing about. She wanted 50%. Fair enough, really, isn't it? And he wanted her to have 25%. So, and now it turns out that a large amount of these assets has been sold. And while he's in Serbia, he's sold a lot of his assets. And the spokesperson is saying it seems very strange to us that for a few weeks now, David, Anna's husband, has had no contact whatsoever with the husband. Yeah, no tenga ningún contacto con la familia. So he's just like, I mean, I know they were estranged, but the lawyer on one hand was saying what an amicable divorce they were having. It was fantastic. There was no problems between them. And then in the next breath, it's like, oh no, he's not even contacting the family. He's not having anything to do with, he doesn't seem at all worried about where she might be or what might have happened to her. So yeah, he's not having any contact with the family at all. So then this Joaquin Amils, the spokesperson, said it's sort of an anomaly when the couple are not divorced and they were together for 13 years. So yeah, they weren't just, it wasn't just a sort of 6-month relationship. They were married for 13 years. They're still not divorced, but he doesn't seem to be bothered about where she is. Anyway, and the other thing he says, he underlines, Subraya underlines that it seems very significant to him that the husband has looked for a lawyer, a criminal lawyer in the United States, right from the minute of the desperation, right from the minute of the disappearance. I can feel the Spanglish really kicking in now. So if he's got nothing to hide, and if, as he says, he'll collaborate with anything, he'll, you know, it doesn't make sense to employ a criminal lawyer. And he's saying that to us it seems strange that this lawyer has defended his client, saying that he hasn't come to Spain because he doesn't understand Spanish and he doesn't have a house in Spain. So that, because you remember, that's why he said he hadn't come to Spain, because he didn't speak Spanish and he didn't have a house in Spain. He had no connection to Spain. Well, the connection he's got to Spain is his wife is missing in Spain. And the rest of them came to Spain, but you know, they can't stay here forever. They've got to go back to their lives eventually, like a friend, a family, etc. You can't do, you know, and he's not prepared to help them financially either. But he is in a position, if he doesn't want to come to Spain, he could pay for the mother or the brother or whatever to come to Spain and, you know, stay there as long as it took to find her. Anyway, he also says it's very strange that he has said until the moment his client is not Also, it's very strange that he has said that up to this moment his client is not a suspect and is not being investigated, when we all know that, you know, the people in the immediate circle of any person who goes missing are the first ones to be investigated and suspected. So I think basically you could say that what that is saying is everybody suspects David. I mean, David might not have anything to do with it. Her husband, David, he may have nothing to do with it. But it's just his behaviour is making him more suspicious, isn't he? Anyway, so it's going back to now, you know, saying what happened, the facts of what happened. So at the root of the divorce that's going on, when the divorce began, Ana Maria, she came to Madrid about a year ago. Her brother explained that on the 14th of January 2024, she wanted to resume her relationship with him and the mother. So there'd obviously been some sort of breakdown in her relationship with her family, because on the 14th of January, he says that she contacted them and said she wanted to reconcile with them. So he said she apologized to me and she said that she wanted to be close to us. 10 days later, she told me the situation about the divorce, and she explained to me that she was suffering depression, but that she was getting a lot better. That's what Felipe told them. And then, of course, she came out with these texts. Now, they say La Joven. Again, you know, with the best will in the world, I don't think you call someone of 40 the young girl. She's not a young girl, but she looks very young. Anyway, she was looking for a flat in Madrid to move house. And on the 5th of February, she had this trip to Barcelona planned with one of her friends. And the day of her disappearance, she was talking with a friend and sending her songs. They also were talking about the trip that she had planned to go to Barcelona on the 5th of February. And he said in this conversation, Anna was very hopeful. And on Friday night, another friend, she told another friend that she was at home and she was fine. So what happened? What happened in between that? You know, how did yeah. I think he is definitely involved, David. I think so too. But I shouldn't say that really, because nothing's proven. So we should wait really until it's proven. But how can he, you know, if he's not involved, he's very callous about it all. There's maybe the reason that he's being so cagey is because he knows that everyone's going to think he's involved. Do you know what I mean? Maybe that's why. Anyway, these were the last messages that Anna shared with her friends, and the next morning her mobile was turned off. So after that Friday night and those messages she shared with her friends, that was it. And then she sent those messages, or somebody sent those weird messages to the friends, the identical messages, one in English, one in Spanish, saying she'd met someone and she was going off to spend some time with them in their summer house. And you know, the internet was patchy or spotty is how she referred to it. No English speaker refers to the internet coverage as spotty. Does anybody ever say that? You know, there's a few of us on here from different parts of the world. You never say, oh, the internet's a bit spotty here. You just wouldn't say it. So it'd obviously been on Google Translate. Anyway, the friends asked her to share her location. You know, on WhatsApp, you can send your location. But the phone never came back on again, and she did not answer those messages, or nobody answered those messages. So, and Felipe the same said that the messages that were sent in Spanish, they weren't like her messages, and also they didn't even sound like normal Spanish. They sounded like they were on Google Translate. And he said she's a very loving and attentive person, and she would never go away so many days without saying anything to anybody, not voluntarily. This is what had happened in the flat. Yeah, somebody had sprayed black paint over the CCTV in the hallway, and also over the camera on the doorbell. Which, sorry, I'm just, if I can make that bigger. That looked like 65, number 65. In fact, I'm just going to take a screenshot of that actually. So yeah, so these are the security cameras in the building where Anna Maria lived. And that's what somebody did at 9:30 on that Friday night, and they know the time exactly because, you know, it's timed on the CCTV. A man with a motorcycle helmet, dressed in black, could only see his eyes, did this to the cameras. And that was, of course, the last thing that they could see on the cameras, because once he'd sprayed them black, that was it. Okay. So, and then when her friends went to this is what her friends found out when they went to the apartment, because this is before the police got involved, because in the beginning, you know, they didn't know what had happened. She disappeared. So her friends actually went to the apartment, and that's when they found out this had happened. And I presume that's when they reported her missing, or they may have reported her missing before that. But you see, in the first instance, the police and the courts, etc., they said there wasn't enough evidence to show that she'd gone away involuntarily. But of course now they're realising that. So according to what the neighbours said on that Friday night, there had been a few robberies, intended robberies or attempts at robberies in the building. However, none of the neighbours reported a robbery. So, you know, it's funny. So they're saying the neighbours were said to her friends that there had been intents at robbery in the edificio, in the building, but however, no neighbour actually reported a robbery to the police. Anyway, so Felipe, her brother, says, taking into account the state of the cameras and the what do you call it? The intercom, el telefonio, the intercom, and the messages that she sent, I believe, this is Felipe, that this was something planned and somebody has taken her away. Felipe insisted. So yeah, so how did they get into the apartment? Was it somebody she knew? Did they? But she was apparently seen on the street at around about 10 o'clock. Or did they ask to meet her outside the apartment? I mean, how have they got to her? You know, how have they got to her when she was, you know, chatting to her friend on the phone? She said she was at home. You know, she didn't seem to have any plans on going out that night. Now, Madrid, Spain in general is, you know, because in some of the news things that we were watching them saying, oh, it was really late, it was 10 o'clock at night. 10 o'clock is not late in Spain and certainly not in Madrid. Madrid's just coming alive at 10 o'clock at night. You know, many people don't even go out to dinner till 11 in Madrid. If you're ever in Madrid, don't bother going out to eat your dinner at 7, 8 o'clock at night because it'd just be you sat in the restaurant. You know, they eat late. It's you know, they live at night. So I personally don't think that 10 o'clock at night was late. To think that she could have possibly been out at 10 o'clock at night. She could easily have been out at 10 o'clock at night. You know, she could have gone for a drink with somebody. Anything could have happened. We don't know yet, but we will find out. The police will find out. So there you go. That was the oh, poor Anna. I hope she's okay. Oh gosh, let's just hope. So that's what happened, and this is the article that started all this talk about biological remains. So let's see, what else did I want to show you? I showed you that. Might be it for news about Anna so far. Oh yeah, I've got another article, a Spanish article that I wanted to read you in English. Well, I say Spanish article. This is actually a Peruvian newspaper. So that just shows how far this story now is traveling, because obviously it's the South America, which is a Spanish-speaking part of the world, isn't it? They've picked up on it now. So it's not. So we've got America, Spain. Hopefully, I think it's picking up a bit more now in the UK as well. And the more that I can spread this story, the better. But any Spanish-speaking country, and this is a Peruvian newspaper that's talking about it. So what we know about the strange disappearance of Ana Maria Knezevic, the Colombian woman who traveled to Spain from Florida. Do you see how this is like connecting many parts of the world? Just shows you, you know, wherever women are not safe, wherever they go or whatever they do, you know, at the end of the day, it shouldn't stop you from doing things. Anna wanted to go to Spain. She wanted a new life in Spain. If anything, if the worst has happened to Anna, at least she did what she wanted to do, and she had some pleasure there before it happened. I think her husband's fingerprints are probably all over this, Now, bearing in mind he's in Serbia. Serbia is probably not that, it's not that difficult to access Spain from Serbia. Certainly not as difficult as it is to access Spain from America or somewhere like that. But I don't think it's probably him who did it. I think it could well, you know, it feels professional, doesn't it? It feels professional. But then it has confused me now when they were saying that, you know, this is quite a common thing in that area of Madrid, because it's such a wealthy area, that there are commonly robberies. And the police have said that they're not certain that is connected with Anna, because it could have been someone just going in and to rob one of the apartments. But there were no robberies that night. There were no robberies. So, you know, I don't think so. I think it is connected with Anna. So Anna Maria Knezevic, American of Colombian origin, travelled in December from Fort Lauderdale to Spain in the middle of a disagreeable divorce. And since the 2nd of February, nobody's heard anything from her. And this is what we know about the case. So I think then it'll probably go through the case, which I won't go through all the details again because we've been through the details. But it's just interesting to hear it from a different point of view, if you like, or from another country. So from Peru, if you like. So she was in the full process of divorce from her Serbian partner. This is what we know about the case. Then it starts to talk about Sana. Sana is the friend of hers who I have been in touch with. She's always very polite, very nice. She's very worried, obviously, about Anna, and Anna is her best friend. But I think she does feel a little bit better now, because she does feel like something's been done now. I think in the beginning, she just felt like nothing was being done. She was on her own. The husband wasn't interested. Obviously, the family were interested. But she travelled with Anna. She travelled in January to Austria, and she has been taking the lead in the search in Spain. So they were going to get back together again on the 8th of February in Madrid. So they had arrangements to meet up in Madrid. But of course, she did not arrive at the appointment. Thing is, she wouldn't have, Anna would, even if she had met somebody and decided to go off with them for a couple of weeks, she just wouldn't have left her friends in the lurch, you know, like the friend she was supposed to go to Barcelona with, or then Sana was coming over to stay with her. She wouldn't have just said, oh, sod you, I'm going off with this guy that I've just met in the street. There's just no way that that would have happened, is there? So Anna also had this meeting planned with a friend to go to Barcelona, which didn't arrive for. She lived in un departamento. I think they mean apartamento. She lived in a rented apartment in Salamanca, a Madrid area, an area of Madrid where rich people live. Personas de alto poder adquisitivo. I'm just seeing that. Thank you. Oh, got two there. Oh, and 411 is a member for 5 months. Thank you for that. And she is gifted a membership. Thank you for that. I won't be able to see who's won it, but I'm sure you'll let me know. So yeah, it just goes on then to talk about the cameras being painted out and the messages, etc., that we know. So I think it's significant that she was staying in this area in Salamanca that is a very wealthy area. I personally think that's significant. Did David Knezevic, did he know where she was? I mean, I'm sure will they have been able to access her phone messages without having the phone? I think they will they? But anyway, I'm sure he knew where she was. What messages went between them around that time, I wonder. It's interesting, isn't it? So, yeah, so they were 13 years married and they're owners of the business Fox Technology Solutions. In fact, we'll have a look at that in a minute on the, EOX, not Fox. I wonder if I can find that, or I can find the website. Oh, yeah. Right, we'll have a look at that in a minute. Oh, website. We'll have a look at the website in a moment after I've finished reading this. And it offers internet support, and also they are owners of a house and there are owners of several houses in Fort Lauderdale, and one of them is their actual mortgage. His mortgage, their actual house. So there is a substantial amount of money in play to divide between David, and he is not happy with it. So, yeah, it's definitely financial problems here, isn't it? But Sana, her friend, does say that she had never said to Sana that she ever felt that she was in danger. So, don't know. There was something else here. So, after Anna disappeared, her brother, Felipe Hanayos, sent a text message to David to ask him if he knew anything about it. And he said, what's happening? And so he told him that Anna had disappeared, something that he already knew, but he didn't say anything more. And he said, well, he's never contacted the family after that. He's only spoken through his lawyer, this Ken Padovich. We looked at that interview, didn't we? So, and he said, remember what he said? He said, it's a terrible situation. It's horrible, but David was living in Serbia. His passport reflects that. He was there before the disappearance, and he was not in Spain. He was in Serbia. So he's insisting it's nothing to do with him. Anyway, let's have a look at their business now, I think, because really most of that now is just repeating the same story. Let me just come back. Do we know who won the... do we know who won the membership? Hi, Karen. Oh. Hi, Illy. Has Illy arrived? Or was it Illy that got the membership? Oh, Arkan got the membership. Oh, well done. Great. Hi, Illy. Hi, Annie. Right, let me go back now. Let's have a look at the website for their business. Oh, gosh, there he is. David Knezevic. Is it just me? Do you know who he looks like to me? He looks like Lebedev, the Russian lord that we've ended up with in the... that we've ended up in the within the House of Lords. Looks a bit like him, don't you think? Or am I just imagining it? Hi, Illy. Yeah, so this is David. This is David with his cheesy smile. I shouldn't say that, should I? No, I should not judge because he may have nothing to do with it. But anyway, if you're looking for reliable IT support in Miami, Fort Lauderdale and West Palm Beach, if your network is causing problems or running slow, call us today. Wonder if his phone number's still working. Oh, and they do IT services. This is all a bit over my head because I'm not very good with IT and that. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. IT services. Oh, hosted VoIP, whatever that is. Backup or disaster recovery, storage solutions, virtualization, cloud integration, etc. So, says they're a trusted provider of innovative IT solutions for over 12 years. Now, he definitely is in Serbia. He is in Serbia. And some of the articles I was looking at, they've been to the house. And there's nobody there. It looks like nobody's lived there for quite a long time. And it doesn't seem to be like, well, I know this phone number's there, but Anna's not mentioned on this website at all, is she? Maybe she's stopped being involved in it. Yeah. Anyway, there's no point. We could read through that. If you want to look at that website, that's their website, EOX Technology Solutions. They sort of, like when you read it, it sort of sounds quite sort of low-key, doesn't it? But apparently it's a business that's making millions of pounds, dollars. They're very rich, they're very well off. Makes you wonder if there's a bit more to this business, maybe. Because it doesn't look like a great big high-flying business, does it? I suppose if you end up working for quite a few big companies, you can, I don't know, you can make a lot of money. You only need a few good companies, I suppose, to work for, and then that's it. As long as I never understand how these kind of businesses work. It's just like, you just think, obviously they do make money. They have made money out of it. I just never understand it. I think, maybe that's just me, and I don't come from that sort of background, where you can just give out a load of waffle and earn money from it. I don't know, but just seems all a bit, don't really understand it. But anyway. Hi, Ebo. I think you're right, Caroline. Money just brings so many problems. I mean, I know it's nice. It's nice to have money. Of course, it'd be nice to have money, to think that you could do what you wanted, go where you wanted. But what's the point in having money if you're looking over your shoulder to see who's going to try and take it off you, or who's going to try and murder you or whatever? Thank you for that, Peppy. It's interesting, yeah, because there's no address on there. There's just a phone number. But I just don't understand how these things work. I think it's just my sort of lack of ambition or whatever. I don't know, but I think they work on waffle, don't they? It's just like, just talk a load of shite and earn money from it. If anyone looked like a man that you should not buy a used car off, it's this man, isn't it? Would you buy a used car off this man? I personally find his smile a bit too sickly, but oh dear. Yeah, it'd be nice to not have to worry about a bill again, wouldn't it? It'd be nice, you know. I always think, oh, I don't want to be rich. It'd just be nice to not have to think, oh God, end of the month's coming up. You've got all these bills to pay. Your kettle breaks, and you've got to buy a new kettle. You know, just little things. You know, all the things that always come at the wrong time, don't they? You know, but I don't know what the right time is. But it just seems like, you know, just things happen at the wrong time, don't they? But is there a right time for your kettle to break or for your car to break down or whatever? There's always something else to pay for. Anyway, this is the story so far. So I do feel sort of more positive about it, in the sense of, I do think the Spanish police and the FBI working together, something's going to give here. You know, they're going to find out what's happened to Anna. It may not be, you know, may not be the best, may not be the best sort of outcome. It's not likely to be a good outcome now. But I do think we're going to have an outcome. I do think we are going to get answers. And whoever has done this to Anna, you know, taken her away or removed her from her family, etc., I think they are going to get caught out. I do think they're going to get caught. Okay, right. So that's about it for tonight. But I will be back. Gosh, you can tell I look tired, don't I? I will be back really soon as ever. Oh, I'm not, don't worry, I'm not finishing just yet. I want to tell you about, you know, I'm going on location quite soon. And if you want to be the first to know where I'm going and when I'm going, I will be, but my members will know first of all. And I'm looking forward to it. I think I'm going to bring you some interesting videos and hopefully some information that maybe we don't know yet. But I'm looking forward to it. Most of all, I'm just looking forward to having a little while where I don't have to worry about dogs and sons and cleaning and, you know, all the things you have to worry about at home. So a break, a little break, a change of scenery, make some interesting videos. So I am looking forward to that. Now, as far as I know, there is no really use of, no real news of Riley straying. Oh, let me just check, actually. I've checked Samantha Murphy while we've been on. No news about Samantha, as far as I know. No official news. Let's have a look if we've got any news about Riley. I don't think so, because normally I would have heard one way or another. Yeah, no, apart from the bank card being found. Now, what did you think about that? I don't know if any of you saw that video that I made about his bank card being found. But these were TikTokers that found his bank card. You know, so Riley Strain is the young lad who's gone missing after a night out with his mates. And they've been searching the river in Nashville, Tennessee, haven't they? For, you know, thinking that he may have fallen in the river because he was so drunk or so, he was high as a kite on something. What, you know, these were TikTokers that found his card, found his credit card. TikTok ghouls, you know, I mean, they're not ghouls. I'm not saying those, they are ghouls. I'm just repeating what the media always say about TikTokers. TikTok ghouls. But do you know what? If they wouldn't have actually, if they wouldn't have been there looking for that, they wouldn't have found that card. So they found something. They found some evidence. You know, it's anyway. So, but apart from that, no. Yeah. Oh, those TikTok girls. Yeah, they've actually found his credit card, which the police didn't find. Because I have searched. I mean, it's a big area to search, and there's a load of rubbish everywhere. But they did not find his card. These tic tac, I was thinking of buying some Tic Tacs earlier. That's why I've got Tic Tacs on my brain. When I was in the supermarket, I was thinking, shall I get some Tic Tac? Anyway, that's totally by the by. But these TikTok girls found his card. I hope they thank them. Anyway, but no, and they found a body, of course. The police did find a body in the river, but it wasn't him. It was a woman, apparently. So there's another sad story there. Who knows which family's going to get that news that their loved one's been found. But I find this amazing that when they go looking for bodies in rivers, they end up finding all sorts of other bodies. It makes you think how many people are in these rivers. And my son was telling me about some lake or something in, I think it was in America, where there was a drought, or was it America? And there was loads of bodies in the bottom of this lake. Awful. Terrible. Isn't it? So very sad, these. And apparently somebody was saying that loads, you can imagine if you, God, I'm glad I didn't live near a river or a canal or anything. All the times I was walking around Manchester when I was young, bit out of it like Riley was, as you are, and you think you're okay and actually you're not. I'm sure I would have gone into the river. Anyway. Yeah, exactly, blank faces. Considering how many are known to be lost and not found, how many are completely lost without us knowing? Well, I did do a video a while ago on, there's a website, isn't there, where all the people that were found in all the drowning cases that have not been identified, people that were found in the sea, I think. There's loads, absolutely loads. Oh, you're all getting carried away now in the chat. You're all lively. See, you're an hour behind me. I mean, it's 10:30 here and I'm ready for bed, to be honest. What was that? I did a video on it. And I found this website. It will have been when I've been investigating into Nicola Bulley. Came up with some website with all these people. And I just could not believe there were pages and pages of people that had been found and not identified in the sea. It was terrible, really. Anyway, right, I really am going this time. So thank you again. Don't forget to put your finger on the like button, your fingerprint on the like button, and just thank you everyone for being here, sharing this time with me, and for making, it's important that we keep Anna's name, like all the cases that we're following, keep their name in the spotlight until it's found out what's happened to them, because these families in torment, families and friends in torment. Anna's not a mother, so at least that's it. They're not children sort of going to bed tonight wondering what the hell's happened to the mother. But it's bad enough. She's a sister, she's a friend, and she deserves her justice just as everybody else. So night. Remember to live and love wisely, carefully. Shake your Tic Tacs at anyone you want to shake your Tic Tacs at. And I will see you really soon in the next video. And until then, may your God go with you. And I will show the picture that Claire did of Peter folding one day in the members. Night, night. Bye. It was very rude. Oh, and thank you 411 for gifting a membership to Arkan. Night, night.